In a groundbreaking study, researchers deployed arrays of these microphones across the landscape. They weren't just looking to hear a wolf, they were trying to pinpoint them. By using multiple microphones, they could triangulate the sound. If microphone A hears the howl at 1 second and microphone B hears it a millisecond later, the math can tell you exactly where the animal is standing. In 2018, and updated with even better tech in 2025, these systems started flagging activity in the northeastern parts of France. These are areas with thick forests, but also plenty of towns. The locals had no idea. They were hiking, farming, and living their lives, completely unaware that a new apex predator was moving in next door. The AI detected what scientists call rallying howls. This is a specific type of social call used by a pack to gather its members before a hunt. This is crucial information. A lone wolf passing through is one thing. That is just a disperser looking for a mate. But a rallying howl, that means a pack. That means pups. That means they are staying. The sensors detected this in the dead of winter when snow makes travel hard for humans. While the researchers were stuck indoors, the sensors were logging the birth of a new territory. When the snow melted and the scientists finally got out there to check the GPS coordinates the AI had given them, they found fresh scat and prints. The machine was right. The wolves had returned. But how? How does a pack of wolves cross four-lane highways, dodge high-speed trains, and navigate through suburbs without being seen? This brings us to a really out-there theory, the underground highway. We know that Europe is riddled with old infrastructure, abandoned mines, old war bunkers, drainage tunnels, and ancient paths that date back to Roman times. Is it possible that these animals are using subterranean routes to bypass human detection? It sounds crazy, but animals are incredibly adaptable. Coyotes in Chicago have learned to use railway tracks to move around the city because they know humans don't walk there. If wolves have figured out that going under a highway is safer than going across it, they could be moving through the landscape like a subway system. The acoustic sensors are the only things catching them because they pick up the howls when they surface to hunt. The AI data shows clusters of activity near these forgotten zones. It is almost as if they have a map of the world that we have lost. They are recolonizing their old empire by using the very scars we left on the land. The situation is equally mysterious in the lowlands of Normandy. This is flat farm country, not exactly wolf habitat, yet in 2023, the sensors lit up. A lone wolf signature. Everyone said it was impossible. It had to be a glitch. But the AI kept flagging it, night after night. It turned out to be a single male, nicknamed the Scout. This individual had traveled hundreds of miles from the nearest pack. The detection of this one animal changed the entire conversation. It proved that there is no such thing as a safe distance anymore. If one can make it, others will follow. The acoustic barrier had been breached. The local farmers were furious. They felt like they had been kept in the dark. And in a way they were. Without the AI, that wolf could have lived there for months, snacking on sheep, with the farmers blaming stray dogs or foxes. The technology revealed the truth, but the truth was unwelcome. Basically, the map of the wild is being redrawn by invisible ink, and the sensors are the only things reading it. The forbidden zone is no longer forbidden. It is open for business, and the new tenants are hungry when the algorithm screamed wolf. But here is the catch. What happens when the machine screams wolf and the people aren't ready to hear it? This is where the science hits the reality of human emotion and economics. Imagine you are a sheep farmer in the foothills. You have been told for 50 years that your land is safe. You don't have electric fences. You don't have guard dogs. You leave your flock out at night because the biggest threat is a fox or maybe a stray dog. Then a researcher calls you. They say, hey, our AI picked up a territorial howl about 2 miles from your north pasture last night. Panic sets in. This is the controversial part of the technology. It provides early warning, but it also creates early fear. In some parts of Europe, the release of this acoustic data has caused massive arguments. Farmers want to know exactly where the sensors are. They want access to the real-time feed. They want to know if the big bad wolf is at their door. But scientists are hesitant. If they release the exact location of a den that the AI found, poachers might go there and eliminate the animals. Remember, in many places, these wolves are protected species. So you have this tense standoff. The AI is holding a secret. It knows where the predators are. The farmers know the predators are coming. And the scientists are stuck in the middle, trying to protect the data and the animals. There is also the issue of trust. What if the AI is wrong? There have been cases where the system flagged a wolf that turned out to be a very vocal husky dog from a nearby village. If you raise the alarm based on a computer glitch, you lose credibility. Everyone is obsessed with accuracy. The engineers are constantly tweaking the sensitivity. They are trying to teach the AI to ignore the sound of airplanes, the hum of high-tension power lines, and the rustle of leaves, all to isolate that one haunting sound. This brings us to the American side of the mystery. In the Great Lakes region and parts of the eastern U.S., the situation is even more complex due to the coyote factor. Coyotes are everywhere. They are loud, they are adaptable, and they confuse the data. But recently, the AI has been flagging something weird. It is not quite a coyote, but it is not quite a western gray wolf either. It is something in between. Biologists have known about coy wolves or eastern wolf hybrids for a while, but the acoustic data is showing that these hybrids are developing their own unique language. The AI struggles to categorize them. It often gives a 50-50 probability. This suggests that we might be witnessing the evolution of a new super predator in real time, an animal with the pack strength of a wolf and the street smarts of a coyote. And they are vocal. They are talking to each other across vast distances, coordinating movements in ways we don't fully understand. There is a theory called genetic memory. It suggests that these hybrids are waking up ancient wolf DNA that has been dormant. As they reclaim territory, they start acting more like their ancestors. The AI detects this shift in their vocalizations. The yips turn into deep howls. The chaos turns into order. The sensors are essentially recording the wolf part of their brain taking over. In some pilot programs, they are using these sensors to trigger automated deterrence. Picture this. The sensor hears a wolf. It instantly sends a signal to a speaker system on the edge of the farm. The speaker blasts the sound of humans shouting, or gunshots, or lights start flashing. The wolf, thinking humans are present, turns around and leaves. No sheep die. No wolf is harmed. This is the biofencing of the future. We are using the wolf's own weapon, sound, against it. We are listening for them and then shouting back with a digital voice. But it is not that simple to implement. It costs money. It requires internet connection in places that barely have cell service. And it requires trusting a machine to guard your livelihood. What most people don't realize is that this acoustic data is proving something else. Coexistence is possible, but it requires adaptation. The wolves are back. That is a fact. The sensors prove it. The question is no longer, are they here, but how do we live with them? The drama comes from the fact that the wolves are moving faster than our laws can keep up. The sensors in Normandy, France, picked up a lone wolf hundreds of miles from the nearest known pack. That animal traveled across highways, through backyards, and past schools completely unseen. Only the sound gave him away. This proves that the impossible journey is only impossible in our minds. To the predator, it is just a walk. And the fact that an algorithm is the only witness to this journey makes you wonder, how much of the natural world are we completely blind to? We are entering a time where we might get a text message from a tree telling us a predator is nearby. It sounds like science fiction, but for the ranchers on the front lines, it is becoming the new normal. The silence of the night is no longer empty. It is being constantly analyzed, processed, and decoded. And get this, some researchers are worried about what else the AI might find. The database is trained on known animals, but every now and then, the system flags a sound as unknown biological. It is a sound that has structure, has power, but doesn't match a wolf, a bear, or a cougar. Usually, it is just a distorted owl or a weird piece of machinery, but there's a small percentage of these unknowns that keep scientists awake at night. Are we picking up the sounds of animals we haven't even classified yet? Or perhaps populations of animals like cougars in the eastern U.S. that are officially declared extinct, but might still be prowling the Appalachians? The machine doesn't care about politics. If it hears a big cat, it records a big cat, even if the government says they aren't there. The sensors are stripping away the comforting lies we tell ourselves about the wild. They are revealing a world that is vibrant, dangerous, and very much alive, the shadow we can no longer ignore. So here's the deal. We have built these incredible machines. We have trained silicon brains to filter out the noise of the modern world and find the ancient sounds of the wild, and they have succeeded. They have proven that the gray wolf is a master of the comeback, capable of sneaking past our civilizations and reclaiming its old haunts. But as we look at the data on the screens, seeing those little spikes on the spectrogram that represent a living, breathing apex predator, we have to ask ourselves a serious question. Are we detecting them because our technology is better? Or are we detecting them because they are no longer afraid to be heard? The return of these predators to the impossible zones, the lowlands, the farm country, the edges of the suburbs, signals a shift in the planetary balance. Nature is resilient. It pushes back. We tried to silence the woods, but the howl survived. The acoustic sensors are just the messengers. They are telling us that the buffer zone between us and them is gone. The wilderness is not out there somewhere. It is right here. It is in the patch of woods behind the shopping mall. It is in the valley next to the highway. We used to need visuals to believe. We needed a body, a photo, a footprint. Now we deal in probabilities and frequencies. The wolf is becoming a digital ghost, a data point on a server before it ever becomes a physical reality in front of us. This technology gives us a chance to be smarter this time. Instead of reacting with panic and aggression when a predator returns, we can use the data to prepare. We can know they are coming before they arrive. We can use the warning to protect our livestock and, ironically, to protect the wolves themselves from us. It also leaves us with a lingering feeling of unease. When you walk into the woods now, you know that you are not alone. You might not see anything. You might not hear anything with your own ears. But the sensors know. The AI knows. And here is the wildest theory of them all to leave you with. We know that wolves are social. They learn. If they realize that howling leads to detection, and detection leads to trouble, they might stop howling altogether. They might evolve into a silent predator. And if that happens, our expensive AI sensors will become useless. We are in an arms race with evolution. We build a better ear, they build a better silence. Some people think the AI is actually training the wolves. By reacting to their calls, by sending out drones or people every time a sensor trips, we are teaching them which sounds are safe and which are dangerous. We might be accidentally breeding a super stealthy wolf that avoids all technology. It is a sobering thought. We are trying to monitor the wild, but the wild is watching us back, and it is learning. For now, the screens are lighting up. The red dots on the map are spreading. From the Alps to the Great Lakes, the impossible return is happening. The silence was a lie. The woods are full of life, and thanks to a few plastic boxes and some smart code, we are finally tuning back into the broadcast. The impossible return has happened. The barrier is broken. The only question left is, now that we can hear them, are we brave enough to share the land with them? So does this make you look at the forest differently? Knowing that an AI might be listening to a predator right now that humans haven't seen in 100 years? It really makes you wonder if all this happened overnight, or if we have just been missing the key details for decades. If you think there is more out there than we know, hit that like button. And do you think the government is hiding more unknown audio files? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more mysteries from the wild. Stay safe and keep listening.